News out of Washington, where the scandal of Joe Biden's mishandling of classified documents keeps getting worse for the president. Now, that's right. News coming out that the president's beach house has also been raided. Only, sorry, we don't call it a raid. That's the sort of language that's only used when it's about icky Republicans like Donald Trump and his big, tacky, gold-plated mansion at Mar-a-Lago. Not when it's talking about Joe Biden's beach shack, which you can only imagine First Lady Jill has done up in a rhapsody of shiplap, complete with a big Live, Love, Laugh poster up over the lounge. Now, the raid, planned search, reportedly took 3.5 hours and didn't turn up anything incriminating. Who knows? Perhaps he flicked Hunter a fitty to go tidy up the joint. But we have to wonder, just what is going on here? Especially because it has also come out this week that there was another raid, planned search, on Joe Biden's other Delaware house back in January 20. That one took 13 hours. It's a big joint after all. And it did turn up classified documents. And now the Biden administration is frankly starting to look a bit shifty on this whole thing. They're sending out flax from the White House counsel's office to try and spin this. Not spin it well, but spin it nonetheless.
Very clear. Has the FBI conducted any searches of any other locations associated with the president that you or the White House is aware of?
Look, I think we're providing information as this goes on and answering questions about the search activities as they've been happening. I don't want to speak too much to the DOJ's practices in an ongoing investigation. I can say, that we have cooperated fully. The president's personal attorneys have provided information to DOJ.
Meanwhile, poor White House spokesmuppet Karine Jean-Pierre doesn't seem to have a clue. Or if she does, she's not letting on. Here she is being asked if the National Archives were told to stay stum about the discovery of classified documents.
Did anyone at the White House tell the National Archives at any point not to issue a press release about the discovery of classified documents?
I would really refer you to the White House counsel's office, who has been running this process, and refer you to them.
Honestly, this administration is about as transparent as the big black monolith from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Oh, and she wouldn't also tell us if we would have found out about the beach house raid, planned search, if there hadn't been a news crew inadvertently on the scene.
Would the White House have revealed today's search if pool cameras hadn't caught the investigators arriving on scene?
Again, this is a question for the White House counsel's office. I would refer you to them.
And on the question of how many classified documents?
Karine, what is the current number of documents bearing classified markings that have been found in the president's residences and offices?
I would refer you to the White House counsel's office.
Okay.
But here is the big one, and this gets to the heart of the matter.
But I'm wondering how the White House can claim that they are being transparent when the FBI search of the Penn Biden Center, that happened months ago, was not proactively disclosed to the public. And what should the public take away from the fact that you are keeping information like this from the public?
Look, I'm going to be very prudent from here. I'm going to be very consistent from here. I'm just not going to comment anything that is related to what is currently happening.
And that's the heart of the whole issue here. How can they claim they're transparent when they're obviously not? And how can they say they have nothing to hide when they are clearly acting like they do? But now, beyond all that, there are a couple of other things that I think are pretty important in this whole question of the documents. Number one, the fact that the FBI is conducting raids. Slip of the tongue. Planned searches of Joe Biden's many homes. And gosh, it's amazing what you can pick up on a senator's salary these days. Well, that suggests to me that there is more to this than just some misfiled meeting notes. We saw how before, during, and even after the Trump administration, we saw the way factions within the FBI were willing to manipulate investigations, most notably the entirely bogus Russiagate affair, to interfere with politics and, at its worst, attempt to decide who gets to be president. The fact that this scandal continues to have legs indicates to me that there may well be a push on within what Donald Trump called the swamp to ease Biden off the stage. and get him to declare that this will be his one and only term as president. And the directions from which it is being pushed also suggest that this is about keeping all of Joe Biden's problems in a very targeted channel, just the documents. The mission here is to move Biden on, but not find out anything more about potential corrupt behavior by the now president or members of his family that could drag others in Washington down. Which brings us to my second point, and this has huge implications for the next 2 years of politics in America. No matter what the ultimate outcome of these investigations, the fact is that presidential scandals are generally second-term affairs and come about when a president is considered weak, a lame duck. After the loss, barely, but a loss is a loss, of the House to the GOP, Biden is now seen by the left as a spent force. He's old, and were he to run again, he'd be 82 at his next inauguration, with theoretically 4 more years to go as president. And he's now useless to the progressive left that seems to be running things in the Democrat Party. Remember, they propped up Biden, who spent his career in the Senate as something of a moderate, with pretty right-wing positions on some things like segregation and even Roe v. Wade, as a rubber stamp to get Trump out and their agenda through. But now, Biden's not just useless to them without control of Congress, he's actually in the way. Watch this space.